revenue minus change in total cost over change in Q, the same as a marginal cost. So this one the same as a 0. So change in D profit and change in Q will be equal to the same as a marginal revenue minus marginal cost, which is equal to 0. So taking this marginal revenue minus marginal cost equals to 0 will be equal to so marginal revenue minus marginal cost will be equal to 0. So when you make a marginal revenue the subject, the marginal revenue will be equal to this side will be equal to marginal cost. So we proved the first condition that in order to maximize the profit, marginal revenue should be equal to marginal cost. So let us look whether the firm in short run firms under perfect competitive market and super normal profit. So if a firm will earn supernormal profit, means the price charged to the commodity should be greater than the average total cost. So if this situation exists, that price should be greater than the average total cost, means the firm under perfect market will earn supernormal profit. So graphical will be as a follows. Graphical be like this one. So here is price or revenue or cost, and here is quantity, which is produced. Now, as we said, the price is constant, so let's say our price is at P star, which is constant, and the demand curve be horizontal. So this will be the demand curve, which is equal to marginal revenue. So the price will be equal to marginal revenue. Also, we said the marginal cost curve should cut the marginal revenue curve from below. So we can draw the marginal cost curve like this one, marginal cost curve. So it cuts the marginal revenue from below at this point. So this Q star is the maximizing level of output, or the output which will read to get the maximum profit. Now we said that in order for the firm to earn supernormal profit, means the price should be greater than average total cost. So our price is this one. So if the price should be greater than, it means the average cost should be less than the price. So the average cost should be below this price. Let's assume the average cost is this one. So this will be the average total cost. So let's say this shaded area, when the price is greater and the cost is below, this area we call as a profit. So since the price is greater than the average total cost, so this area is the supernormal profit. So the shaded area is supernormal profit. So firms under perfect market in short run will earn supernormal profit when the price is greater than average total cost. And this area shows, this shaded area shows the supernormal profit a firm could earn. And this is the same as taking, you take the price times quantity. Price star times quantity, you take the total, you get the total revenue. So when you minus, you remain with this area, which is the supernormal profit. Now, case 2, we said a firm under perfect market in long run can earn just a normal profit. So this is case 1. Case 2, case 2, in long run, firms under perfect competitive market and normal profit. Okay? So when a firm in long run earn normal profit, this is due to the free entry or the new entering of firms, or this is due to the new firms which join the industry. So since in short run they earn supernormal profit, means the new firms will be attracted to join the industry. Now if they join the industry, means will increase the supply of goods and services. Now if the supply of goods and services will increase, it means the price will decrease. Now the new firms will still joining the industry, then the price will be declining since the supply is increasing. So in this case, you can say the firms are, let's say, due to free entry of new firms which join to earn the supernormal profit. This will lead to increase in supply and hence fall in price. So due to free entry of new firms, they will lead to increase in supply. So if supply increases, the price will fall, or lead to fall in what? In a price. So if the price falls, the profit also will fall. So graphical will be like this one. So let's say graphical. So here is the price or revenue or cost, and here is quantity. Now, as we said, our price is constant, let's say at a P star, and the demand also is constant. The demand is constant, D, which is the same as the marginal revenue. Now, the marginal cost is like this one, marginal cost, and we said the maximizing level of output is when the marginal cost equals to marginal revenue. So this point is the maximizing level of output. Now, if the firm earning normal profit, means the price will be equal to average total cost. So in order for this firm to earn normal profit, price should be equal to average total cost. So here you can draw the curve of average total cost as the follow, be like this one. So average total cost. So the average total cost is equal to price. So at this point, the firm earns just normal profit. So normal profit means zero profit. So since price is equal to average total cost, so the profit will be equal to zero. So in the long run, due to entering of new firms, this situation could exist. And the third is when a firm earns loss or incurring loss. So case 3 is when a firm, or when the firms earning losses or loss. Now under this situation, the firm will earn loss when the price is less than average total cost. So the firm under perfect market will earn loss when price charged is less than average total cost. It means the average total cost will be higher than the price which the commodity is sold. So now, if this situation exists, it means the firm will earn loss or will incur loss. So graphical that price or revenue or cost, and here is quantity. So we know that the price is constant, and we said the price is equal to marginal revenue. Also the marginal cost curve, cuts the marginal revenue at this point. So the maximizing level of output is this one. So as we said, when a firm makes losses, it means the average total cost will be higher than the price. So the average total cost will be higher than price. So assume the average total cost is above, then the price is below. So when we join average total cost, so this is the average total cost. So when you go up to the minimum average cost, it will be to this point. So the maximizing level of output is this one, so you extend this vertical line up to this line which shows the average total cost. So this area between the average total cost and the price, this area is the loss that firm will incur. So this area, the shaded one, is the losses made. So this is what? The loss made by this firm operating under perfect market. So these three concept of profits is a supernormal profit, normal profit, and the losses is very important to know in order to see if the firm or the business is in which situation. So if it is making loss, so you can take some precaution or decisions to avoid this situation. So maybe if you can see that you are making loss or you are incurring loss, you are free to exit. So due to free exit, if you are making loss, you need to leave this industry or this market and start another activity or another business instead of proceeding in this activity which you incur losses. So these three concepts of profit is very important in making decisions what to do. Now let us go and see some problems, how we can solve some practical problems which involve profit maximization. Now let us consider the following review question. Let us see this question. Said 3 from 6 students have a dream to start a business after completion of their studies. They are going to join an industry producing in a perfect competitive market structure with a total cost function of this one. You are given the total cost function of Q. Total cost equals to Q cubic minus 15Q square plus 60Q plus 128. And the given price per unit of output is 3 shillings 660. Now you are asked to calculate the fixed cost of their businesses, or the fixed cost of the business. So you ask to calculate the fixed cost of the business, then calculate the maximizing level of output would produce. Calculate the maximizing level of output would produce. Then Roman 3, among the 3 students, one of them would suggest to produce 30 units of output. So one of the students suggested that they can produce 30 units of output. Now does this make sense? Then Roman 4, you are asked to calculate the output the firms should produce to break even. And Roman 5, calculate the minimum cost. Now let us attempt the question. the data which we are given the total cost, which is q cubic minus 15q square plus 60q plus 128, and we are given the price of the commodity, which is 660 shillings. Now Roman 1, also we don't have total revenue. Okay, so the total revenue will be obtained by taking total revenue will be equal to price times the quantity, but our price here is 660 then times the Q. So the total revenue be equal to 660 Q. So these our information should be used to solve the problem. Now case 1, we are asked to calculate the fixed cost. Now the total fixed cost exist even if the firm producing 0 output. So we can say Q equals to 0, the fixed cost will still exist. So the total fixed cost will be equal to total cost even if the output is equal to 0. So you put the output equal to 0. So this will be equal to 0 cubic minus 15 times 0 square plus 60 times 0 plus, so when you evaluate this information, you will get 0 plus 128, which is equal to 128. So the total fixed cost will be equal to 128 shillings. So for the case 1, the fixed cost will be 128. So since it exists even if output is equal to 0. Now for the case 2, Roman 2, we are asked to calculate the maximizing level of output would produce. We said that a firm will maximize its profit. Since here we are asked to calculate maximizing level of output, means we want to find the maximum output which will lead to maximize profit. So the conditions is that marginal revenue should be equal to marginal cost, and the marginal cost curve marginal cost curve cut marginal revenue curve from below. So we needed to find the marginal cost. So since we are given the total cost, we know total cost equals to Q cubic minus 15Q square plus 60Q plus 128. So the marginal cost is obtained by differentiating this function, this cost function. So the marginal cost marginal cost will be equal to change in total cost over change in Q, which will be the same as when we differentiate this one. This 3 will come this side, so we'll multiply 3 Q, then 3 minus 1. I hope you know the differentiation. Then you minus, here is 15, then these 2 come, here we multiply by 15, so it will be times 2, then Q, 2 you minus 1, then here is 1, so you take 1 times 60, so it will be plus 60 times 1, then Q, 1 minus 1, since here the exponent is 1, plus, here it means that our Q here is in power 0, so you take the 0, this side you times 1, so it will be 0 times 180, 128, then Q 0 minus 1. Okay? So when you simplify this, it will be the same as a marginal cost will be equal to 3Q square minus 30Q plus 60. So 0 times this one will be 0. So the marginal cost will be equal to this one. Also the total revenue, the marginal revenue is obtained by differentiating the total revenue function. So when you differentiate the total revenue, which is you differentiate the total revenue, which is D of total revenue, which is 660Q over DQ. So when you differentiate this one, since this is power 1, so the 1 will come this side, so you multiply with this one, then you minus 1 here, or the same as a 1 times 1, then times 6, and the 6th Q 1 minus 1. So when we differentiate this one, 1 times 1 will be 1, times this one will be 6, and this one you minus be 660 Q power 0. So any number power 0 will be equal to 1. So here the same as a 1. So 1 times this one will be 660. So this will be the same as a marginal revenue. So the marginal revenue will be 660. So a firm will maximize profit when marginal cost equals to marginal revenue. So now equating the marginal revenue equals to marginal cost. So our marginal revenue is 660 equals to marginal cost, which is 3Q square minus 30Q plus 60. So when you collect the like terms, 3Q square minus this will come this side, so it will be 3Q 30Q plus 60 minus 660 is equal to 0. So when you simplify, it will be 3Q square minus 30Q minus 600 equals to 0. Now when you solve this quadratic, when you solve the quadratic, when you use the general formula, when you use your calculator, Q1 So when you use your calculator, Q1 will be equal to 20 units, and Q2, you take two values, you will get two values here. So the first will be 20 units and the second will be negative 10 units. So this negative units does not exist, since we don't have negative number of commodities which is sold. So this negative does not exist. So you take the maximizing level of output should be 20 units. So you can conclude that therefore the maximizing level of output is 20 units. Now if one of the students or one of them will suggest to produce 30 units, now let us see if this will be profitable or not. So to make sense, this 30 units should be profitable. So if this unit will bring a higher profit, so that output will make sense. But if that output will lead to making loss or lower the profit, there is no sense to produce that unit. So let us see. We know that recall from marginal cost, we said, is equal to 3Q square minus 30Q plus 60. Okay? Now let us see. If we increase 30 units, let's say from the units is 20, now if we increase the, let's assume now the Q is 30 units. Now let us plug these units in this marginal cost. Let us see what will be the additional cost due to increasing 30 units of output. So the marginal cost will be equal to 3 times 30 square minus 30 times 30 plus 60. Okay, so this one, when you multiply this, will be 27 207